Dear children, let's have a quick review of today's SSLC examination, March 2022 English question paper. English question paper is found to be an easy one. Students, hope you would have done it well. Part 1, questions 1 to 6. It's based on the reading. Answers are to be given based on the reading of the first passage. Okay. Question 1. The magnificent old banyan tree was mine. Why does the boy think so? Yes, the boy thinks so because his grandfather was unable to climb the tree. Or in other words, the boy thinks so because he was able to climb the tree. Moving on to the second question. How does the grandmother tease the grandfather? The answer is a direct one. The grandmother teases the grandfather by speaking of a countess, of a certain Countess of Desmond, an English woman who had lived up to the age of 117 and would have lived longer if she hadn't fallen while climbing an apple tree. Answer is a simple one. Hope children you would have answered it. Moving on to the third question, which town is referred to in the passage? The town referred to in the passage is Dera, the place where Ruskin Bond lived along with his grandparents. Moving on to the fourth question, how does the boy establish that the banyan tree was very old? The answer is a simple one. The boy establishes that the banyan tree was old through this sentence, that the tree was older than the grandfather, older than the house, older than the town of Dera. Hope you would have answered it. Moving on to the fifth question, the banyan tree formed a maze of arches. How? Yes, the banyan tree, its branches curved to the ground. It took root again to form a maze of arches. Hope the answer is clear. Moving on to the sixth question, pick out the word from the passage that means a land a person controls. And the answer is domain.
Hello, let's go to question number 7 to 10. Question number 7. Who may be some people referred to in the poem? Here you are free to write your expressions. Some people can be slaves, or you may write some people are people who are undergoing exploitation, or you may write that people who are poor and marginalized. So you are free to write your answer here. Question number 8. What do the lines is and how many years can a mountain exist before it's washed to the sea indicate? We have three options. A mountain never perishes, the long years of suffering of people, the strong protest of the people. You may see all the three answers are, you may feel them are correct, but the most suitable answer is B, the long years of suffering of the people. Question number 9. The expression turn his head in the above lines means the indifferent attitude of the responsible people towards the suffering ones. Or you may write the ignorance of the responsible people towards the suffering ones. Question number 10. What does the man pretend? The man pretends that he doesn't see the suffering of others.
Moving on to part 2 of the English question paper. You have to interpret the poem of Langston Hughes, questions 11 to 15. Question number 11. Who is the speaker of the poem and who is the poem addressed to? The questions are very simple. The speaker of the poem is the mother and the poem is addressed to the son. Moving on to the 12th question, pick out two expressions that describe the boards on the stair. The answer is a simple one. Children, you would have noticed that the question carries 2 marks. Okay, so you are supposed to write 2 sentences. Sentence 1, The boards are torn up. The boards have tacks in it. The boards have splinters in it. Moving on to the next question, that is the 13th question. Why is the stair described as bare? The stair refers to the life of the mother, and the stair is described as bare because it is bare, or in other words, it is without the basic necessities in life. Hope the answer is clear. Moving on to the next question, the 14th question. After reaching the landing, which are the two things? What are the two things the speaker experiences? What are the two things the speaker experiences? The speaker experiences that she is turning corners, that sometimes she is going in the dark. Moving on to the next question, 15th question. There ain't been no light. Why? Why do you think there isn't light in mother's life? Mother is going through dark phases in her life. While going through dark phases, she come across places where there is no light, or she was unable to meet the unexpected dark phases in her life.
Question number 16 to 18. Question 16. Describe two actions of Ali after getting out of the shop. He went to the pile of boxes in front of the shop. He picked the bundle of naan and then looked for the bag of shoes. And you can write, many other actions are given. You can write whatever suitable you find. Question number 17. Why were the boxes of vegetables upset? Ali searched his sister's shoes underneath the vegetable boxes. He put his hand and head in the gap between the boxes, which upset them all. Question number 18. What are the two expressions of Akbar that shows his annoyance? We see many verbal and physical expressions in this paragraph. I just write, Akbar shouted at Ali, asking what the hell he was doing there. Or you can write, get lost, beat it. Or again we see some other verbal expressions. I said get lost. Or you can refer the physical expression. He banged his fist on the pile of boxes and shouted at him to get lost. So you get many answers here.
Children, we have now reached part 3 of our question paper. Here we have to complete the gapped paragraph given here in the question paper. The gapped paragraph, you would have noticed, that is an extract taken from the prose lesson for study. Let's look at the passage or the paragraph. Complete the following passage, choosing the right phrases from those given in the boxes. Children, you would have also understood that you have to use the phrasal verbs given in the boxes as to complete the paragraph. Children, again kindly notice that the paragraph is given in past tense. So you are supposed to change the tense of the given expressions. After reaching my room, I took off my coat and white shirt and hung them up. I had to, you are right, put up with a lot of rats who were running around my room. I lay down is the answer given by them. You have to transform this expression into its past form. I lay down, but I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air. Moving on to the next question, question number 20. Read the passage given below. There are certain errors in it. The errors are underlined. You have to edit the underlined errors. All my characters were white and blue-eyed. They played in the snow. They ate apples and they talked a lot about the weather. How lovely it was that the sun had come out.
Let's go to question number 21. Complete the conversation suitably. Boy, you didn't see the fight in the garden. Dash. We are supposed to add a question tag there. Did you? Grandmother, no dear. Dash. You can add a suitable question. Why did you ask so? You can ask that. Or who were fighting there? Or what did you see? Any of these questions can be asked. Boy, I saw the fight between a mongoose and a cobra. Grandmother, dash. That means we are supposed to add a question. Did the mongoose kill the cobra? Or was the cobra killed? Any yes or no questions can be asked here. Boy, yeah, the cobra was killed. Grandmother, if the mongoose had not killed the cobra, dash. We see a type 3 conditional here. In the if clause, we are saying had plus V3 form of the verb. And in the main clause, in that case, we are supposed to complete the main clause with would plus how plus V3 form of the verb. And there is something to focus here. We see a question mark at the end of it. That means we are supposed to complete in the form of question. If the mongoose had not killed the cobra, what would have happened? That can be a possible question. Or you can write any other possible question. We see a question mark at the end of question D. And the answer is not much suitable. The printed answer given here is the mongoose did it for us. We can't do anything else in that case. Okay, let's go to question number 22. A few words are missing in the following passage. Choose the right ones from the box given below and fill in the blanks. As he spoke with real feeling, I got a vivid picture of the work these two people were doing. I learned how they took derelict adolescents dash were put in juvenile courts to a special center. Actually, we see a variation in the structure of sentence from what we see in the textbook. Okay. We may feel that the relative pronoun who is suitable here, but doesn't go with the last part, the end of that sentence, to a special center. In my opinion, the options given is not suitable to this particular question C in question number 22. Question C, we do not get the correct option. Then they would place these young people in a healthy environment and heal them in mind and body. Okay, let's go to the answers once again. 22, A with, B, A, C, I'm not sure of that because it's confusing, D, and. Let's go to question number 23. Read the following sentences and identify the noun phrases in the subject position of each sentence. That means we are going to we are going to locate the subject in these sentences. 1. Adichie went to the US for her studies. Adichie is the subject and we see Adichie the same noun phrase in the subject position. Second one, her American roommate was shocked. Here the noun phrase in the subject position is her American roommate. Third, all the students in the class looked at her whenever Africa was referred to. And the noun phrase in the subject position is all the students in the class. Question 4. The single story about Africa, which we believe may not be the only story. The noun phrase in the subject position is the single story about Africa which we believe.
Moving on to questions 24 and 25. Children, you would have identified that question 24 is an unseen paragraph, and the question is a very simple one. Okay, in the first reading itself, I am sure you are able to find out the answers. Let's go to question 24, question 1. Question 1, where does the incident take place? Yes, the incident takes place in a restaurant. Question 2, why did the other diners watch the father in disgust? The other diners watch the father in disgust because he is an old man. Yes, his hands shook while eating and he spilt food on his shirt and trousers. How did the son help his father? Son, an affectionate son, a very loving son. How did he help his father? You are supposed to do the same to your parents too. How did he help his father? The son led him to the wash, removed the food particles on his father's dress and combed his hair. Last question. The question carries a message. What was the reaction of the other old man who watched the scene? Another old man who was watching the scene was filled with hope. He developed the hope that he'll be able to live on. Answer is very simple. The old man was filled with hope. Or in other words, the answer or the sentence, the very sentence that is given as the last sentence of this paragraph. He had a hope to live on. Moving on to question 25, which is a very simple one, children. Details of a few films are given below. You have to study the table and answer the questions that follow. Question 1, who directed the movie Samskara? Answer is very simple, Pattabhirama Reddy. Second question, which is the only Malayalam film listed in the table? Piravi, every Malayali's pride. Piravi is the Malayalam movie. The third question, The Way Home was released in 2002. And the last question, the film Dash is directed by Akira Kurosawa. The film's name, Rashomon.
Let's go to part 4. Question number 26. Read the following lines taken from the poem The Ballad of Father Gilligan and prepare a note of appreciation focusing on the theme, imagery and other poetic devices. Here in the question paper, you are getting 2 4-line stanzas from the poem The Ballad of Father Gilligan. And when you are going to the appreciation of the poem, you have to give a proper introduction in the first paragraph. And in the introductory paragraph, you have to mention the name of the poem and the name of the poet. You know, W.B. Yeats is the poet. And in the second paragraph, you have to mention the theme of the poem. The poet is telling the story of this old village priest, Father Gilligan. And you have to mention what's the background of writing this poem. A particular contagious disease, an infectious disease, is killing his parishioners daily. And Father Gilligan is supposed to visit each dying man's home to offer the last prayers. And he is the same one who is supposed to visit the same home once again to do the funeral. Okay, so you can mention that particular background and you can come to the remaining part of the appreciation. You have to mention a very small summary of the content here, and then we go to the poetic crafts. You can specify the imageries given here. We see many examples of visual images. Priest, knight, green swords, moth hour, all are examples of visual images. And you may get the example of auditory image also in the line, he began to grieve. Grievances in words, that is a good example of auditory image. Again, when you can go to the rhyme scheme, you can specify the rhyme scheme of the first stanza. The same rhyme scheme is following in all the remaining stanzas. A, B, C, B. That's the rhyme scheme. And you can specify the examples of alliteration. You can take the very first line itself, the old priest Peter Gilligan. You see the same consonant P is repeating in the words priest and Peter. Or you may go to the second line, was very night and day. In the same consonant V is repeating in the words was and very. And you can specify the other examples of poetic devices. Whatever you feel that it is beautifying the structure of poem, you can mention in your paragraph. At the end of the appreciation, you can specify why do you love the poem. You can even quote certain lines from the question, and you can write that I love these lines because of these reasons. Okay.
Part 4, question number 27. Martha was upset when she was informed by the principal that she should pay for the scholarship jacket. She approached the grandfather for the money, but the grandfather was not ready to pay for the jacket. She expressed her feelings in her diary. Attempt the likely diary entry. Hope your children you have familiarized with the type or with the layout of a diary. So what is most required is stick to the layout of a diary. Begin with the date line. And then you're supposed to use apt language expressions. I'm sure your teachers would have instructed you that it is better if you use exclamatory sentences or expressions in your diary. So you can use exclamatory. You can begin the sentence with an exclamatory remark. Oh, what a disappointing day. So such expressions are expected in this answer. Then you are also supposed to stick to the content, or in other words, Martha's disappointment need to be expressed in detail. So you can sum up the feelings of Martha after she finds that she is not going to receive the jacket. So express Martha's feelings vividly in your diary. Finally, also see that you use apt language expressions. Also maintain fluency of the language.
Let's go to question number 28. The homeopath in the story, The Snake and the Mirror, found his room cleaned out by a thief when he came back the next day. You meet him after this incident. Prepare a set of 6 questions that you would like to ask him. So when you are asked to write 6 questions, you can write yes or no questions or WH questions. Here I just give a set of examples. Question number 1. What did you feel when you saw your room? Second, have you complained to the police? Third, do you have any idea on the theft? 4. Are you going to stay here again? 5. Do you like to shift to a new house? 6. Do you need any help? Like that you can write any yes or no question or WH question. Just think about one thing, you have to make your question grammatically correct. Okay.
Part 4, question number 29. Satyajit Ray had to face a lot of difficulties in shooting the scenes with a tiger for his movie Goobi Gaina Baga Baine. He writes a letter to his friend describing his experiences. Prepare the likely letter. Students, you are asked to write a personal letter. So, as I have said, that you have to stick to the rules. Stick to the rules of writing a letter. Proper layout of the letter is to be followed. What is the layout of a letter? You can begin with the address. From address, you need not mention the name. And then you can directly go to the salutation. My dear friend. You can sum up the content of the letter in 3 small paragraphs. exactly like that of an official letter. In the first paragraph, you can exchange the greetings. You can also mention about the upcoming project of the veteran film maker. And in the second paragraph, you can sum up the bitter experiences Satyajit Ray had while shooting the movie Goobi Gain Baga Baine. You have to read the lesson thoroughly in order to answer this, and I am sure children, you would have had ample preparations beforehand, and hence you would have written the answer well. And the third paragraph, children, you are actually concluding the letter. Here too you can express your feelings, right? You can also share the thought that you will be meeting your friend very soon. With that, you can conclude your letter.
Let's go to question number 30. The film club of your school has made a short film based on the play Never Never Nest. A well-known actor has consented to inaugurate the function. Prepare a notice inviting all the students to the function. And my dear children, when you are going to prepare a notice, it's always better to take a full page to prepare your notice. And at the top of the page, you are writing the name and address of your school in 2 or 3 lines. You may simply write ABCD school, code, pin code and all. Then leave 1 or 2 lines space blank and write the title notice. You can write in big and bold letter. You can even draw a rectangle outline around it. Again 1 or 2 lines space blank and write the title short film, because there is the content given in the question. You are writing short film in bold letters. Okay. Then you come to the main content of the question. Dear friends, you are starting your notice. The film club of our school has made a short film based on the play Never Never Nest. And in the second line, you can invite any of your favorite film star, a well-known film star, and you are writing he has consented to inaugurate the function. And the third line, you can invite all your friends. All of you are invited to the function. And again, please leave 2 or 3 lines space blank and write the details of the program. Venue, school auditorium. Date, you can specify a particular date, and time 10 a.m. something like that you can specify. Again leave 2 lines space blank. Again you can invite them once again. All are welcome. And at the right bottom corner of the answer, the notice, you can write the convener film club and place your signature also. Now your notice is completed, and then please take your scale and pencil and draw a neat rectangle outline around it. Okay, now the notice is ready. Let's go to question number 31. Prepare a profile of Anton Chekhov using the hints given. My dear children, all the relevant information to prepare a profile is given in the question paper. And you have to write the name of the person, Anton Chekhov. You are writing a title. Then please come to the details. In the first sentence you can write Anton Chekhov is a famous Russian writer. And the second sentence you may mention he was born on 29 January in 1860 in Taganrog, Russia. And the next line, you may write, he has received education from First Moscow State Medical University. And the next line, you may mention, he has worked as a physician, short story writer, and a playwright. And again, it is all, once again given in the question paper. So you are going to write, he was famous as a playwright as well as a short story writer. In the next sentence, you are mentioning his notable works. Three Sisters, The Cherry Orchard, The Lady with the Dog are his notable works. And again, you are writing the honor, the famous award he has won. Pushkin Prize is the most famous award he has won in his career. In the last sentence you are writing, he passed away on 14 July in 1904 in Germany. Now the profile is ready.
Moving on to question number 32. Let me read the question. Ali was deeply distressed when he realized that he had lost his sister's shoes. When he reached home, Zara, his sister, asked him about her shoes. Prepare the likely conversation between Ali and Sarah. You can include minimum 6 exchanges. Children, here, as it is told that you are supposed to include minimum 6 exchanges, it would be better if you make speaker 1 speak 6 exchanges and speaker 2 speak another 6 exchanges. So in total you can include 12 exchanges by speaker 1 and 2. And the question is a simple one. The story describes the mishap at Ali's house. Ali lost his sister's shoe. You remember the incident well. So you need to sum up the incident, and also you have to make Ali answer the questions posed by Sarah regarding the shoes. So how will you begin the first exchange, children? I am sure you know that you have to include WH. You can include WH questions, yes or no questions in your conversation. See that you are also giving a response, which is the response which is supposed to be for the question asked by the other speaker. So come on, if these things are taken into account, you will be able to frame the conversation well. And your teachers would have also instructed you to include tag questions. You can also use contracted forms, or you would have also used contracted forms while writing the conversation. So, best wishes, children. Hope you would have written such a fine response for this question. Best wishes.
Let's go to part 5. In part 5, we are getting 3 questions and each question carries 8 marks. You can choose any of 2 of your choice. Question number 33. The scholarship jacket describes the struggles of Martha for justice. She narrates the incidents at school to one of her friends. Prepare a likely narrative. Here we are going to see a first person narration made by Martha Salinas. So no need of having a proper introduction or nothing like that. You simply start with the first person narration starting with the pronoun I. When I joined the Texas City School, I started dreaming of getting the scholarship jacket because my older sister Rosie had won it. And I have seen that beautiful green colored jacket embroidered with the golden letter S. You can start writing the answer like that. You have got nearly 9 hints. You can develop each hint into 2 or 3 sentences. And altogether you are going to develop all the 9 hints totally into 3 or 4 paragraphs. That means you are narrating the entire story in your own words. You are always using the pronoun I. Okay, I, my, etc. will come often in the answer and surely is going to become a first person narration. Okay.
Children, now let's look at question number 34. The story Adventures in a Banyan Tree portrays a boy's close-knit relationship with nature. Narrate in your own words the incident which the boy witnesses. Among the 3 questions given in this section, this is found to be the easiest. So I'm sure, children, you would have answered it well. And they have given sufficient hints as to help you answer the question well. See, look at the first hint, banyan tree. So all information regarding the banyan tree can be used here in order to write a satisfactory response. The banyan tree, it is supposed to be the place where the boy met his first friend. Who is he? Yes, the grey squirrel. And then it's also the place where the birds throng in large numbers. So all such references are given here, and it's also the place which is supposed to be the place from where the boy witnesses the fight between the cobra and the mongoose. So come on, details of the fight can be included here. And look at the last hint. It is also the place which happens to be the meeting ground of the grey squirrel and the white rat. So come on, you can include details of the strange relationship between the white rat and the grey squirrel here. So you can expect good marks in this answer. Question number 35. You have to answer a question based on the lesson, the best investment I ever made. This is a speech that you are supposed to write. So children, while writing a speech, you have to stick to the rules or to the format of a speech. I hope you remember. Your teacher would have instructed you to begin like this. Good evening everybody, or good morning everybody. Today I would like to speak a few words on the topic, the need of keeping oneself away from bad relationship and the importance of leading a socially committed life. So come on, that is the first paragraph or the initiation that you have attempted in this question. And from the second paragraph onwards, as they have given you sufficient hints that reveal the tragedy that happened in John's life and the reason for being so. What are the factors that resulted in the downfall of Mr. John? Mr. John did not have parents. He did not have a guide or a mentor in life. He fell into bad company. He became a part of the loose morals of the society, and as a result, he got attracted to gambling. Finally, he became an offender. He was punished by law. And fearing the punishment, we understood that he wanted to put an end to his life. So come on, these are some of the things that happen in the life of the present day youth. Why do such things happen in the life of the present youth? Because they do not have people to guide them properly. Or in other words, they do not understand the need of keeping away from bad relationships. So if John had thought of this issue before, he wouldn't have had such bitter experiences in life. So you can use the hints given by them which sum up the story that resulted in the downfall of John, and then you can suggest the solution to some of the vices that are prevalent in the society that corrupts the youth. Hope children, you would have answered it well. Thank you.